Hello and very warm welcome to ET Global Town Hall for this special fireside chat discussion focused on balancing act round the clock power for India, challenges and opportunities. I'm joined by Mr. Mahesh Palashikar, President of GE South Asia. Mr. Mahesh is responsible for leading GE's presence across South Asia, including India, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. Mr. Mahesh, first of all, thank you for joining us today. And let me begin by asking you, uh, what we observed that last year Ministry of New and Renewable Energy had proposed a draft policy for the supply of round-the-clock power to the DISCOM organization with a mix of, renewable energy and electricity generated with the help of coal-based plants. How much government and private organization have moved on that front since the day the policy framework was announced last year?
Hi, Ujale. Good to be with you. Thank you for the opportunity. This is a very relevant topic for India's energy transition. And we are very proud the ministry has taken progressive steps. You mentioned about the round-the-clock hybrid power policy that the government of India has made a lot of progress on. What we feel good about is there is more and more focus on not just the renewable energy, but having the renewable energy which is more firm, which is more balanced, and the round-the-clock hybrid is one best step to make that happen. If you see, there have been some initial tenders, so that has already started, the policy has already started now resulting into some of the actions. Also, you asked a question about how the private industry is supporting it. We all recognize that wind and solar have their times of the day, and you need the hybridization and hybrid solutions to make it more sustainable throughout the day. So we feel good about the policy. We see actions that the government is taking. The good part is the government is also allowing more and more fuel sources. That is a very good step. If they allow wind, solar, now they have allowed natural gas, that will enable faster acceleration to provide round-the-clock hybrid power.
Right. You mentioned about the tender process also. So one of the biggest challenge to round-the-clock power has been having an efficient and transparent way of, a kind of round-the-clock tender process, which can reduce, renewable energy utilization costs, minimize intermittency, and improve the match between power supply and demand. What are your views on that, and what innovation India should explore in this area based on your global experience?
Sure. I think the aspiration that the government of India has for 175 gigawatt installation by 2022 and 450 gigawatts by 2030, that definitely will mean there will have to be tremendous impetus, not only the policy impetus, but you asked a question about tenders, and SECI has done a good job. We have seen it right from 2017 that the competitive, transparent bidding process that SECI has executed, and they have done this for a large volume, that mechanism works well. Now, SECI really will have to drive the hybrid tender volume. And also something that we would want the government to accelerate is the consistent, steady execution of the tenders. Unfortunately, because of pandemic, obviously there were challenges that all of us we faced. But as we get out of the pandemic, this will be the biggest thing that will be important for getting the demand up and achieving the targets. On the innovation side, on the technology side, we are able to provide hybrid solutions. General Electric is very proud. We have some electronic controls and software solutions which form the hybrid architecture. So that is something that we are able to bring to the needs of our customers and needs of the industry. As we move forward, it is also important that storage solutions are introduced into this mix. So the intermittency question that you asked, these are some of the important solutions which will help us get stable, firmer renewable energy and still have the higher aspirations and achieve those aspirations.
Right. These questions become really important given the fact that over the last 1 week, we have been hearing a lot of news about there could be shortage of power. And what we know that Government of India's launch some time back Power for All program. And under that program, it has tried to address the availability of adequate electricity to the grid, which primarily depend on a couple of factors, including, having an adequate electricity is generated and development of underlying supporting infrastructure for the supply of electricity. On both the factor, based on your experience, I would like to understand, are we on the right track or do we need to shift the gear?
It's a great question, and currently we are facing it in the nation, as you have seen some of the headline news. The question is right that it's not only generation, we also have to pay attention to the transmission and distribution. That is the entire value chain for the power industry. So while we have spoken about the power generation, and then there is the traditional fossil fuel power generation supported by the renewable energy power generation, but the grid infrastructure, the grid technology, the grid balancing solutions that also need to be installed. So the grid capacity has to go up, the grid infrastructure on the ground has to go up, and also we are able to bring some of the best solutions for the digital monitoring of the grid performance, the digital monitoring of the network, improving the efficiency of the grid transmission distribution network. So on behalf of the industry, we believe that we have the ability, GE has the technology that we can bring for efficient grid and managing the grid expansion. But the government definitely will have to match the generation increase effort with the transmission distribution infrastructure.
Since you mentioned about the grid management and the role of technology that can play into it, so I'll go to the data. These days, for most of the power companies and organizations that are dealing in the power sector, being a data-driven operation has become an important efforts. And most of the organizations are making some type of efforts to monitor the power flow from the point of generation to the point of consumption, up to the level of end consumption. In that light, what are the key digital pieces that power industry, in your views, needs to put in place to ensure that we have a single console view on the go, and that will lead to obviously an improvement of your consumption, your cost, your utilization. So how are we placed on that front, having a single console view of our electricity generation and consumption?
Yes, I think this is the need of the hour as we start expanding and as we go to higher and higher renewable energy mix into our power generation. There are three important pieces. The most important is the asset performance management. It can be whichever fossil fuel asset, it can be a natural gas asset, it can be wind asset or a solar asset. It is important that the asset owner monitors and improves the asset performance. And this is where GE brings tremendous digital solutions to constantly improve the asset performance management. How do we do it? We have some strong remote monitoring solutions. So you don't have to do this physically at each and every wind farm or a solar power plant or a gas plant. You can do significantly effective and efficient remote monitoring. And the remote monitoring allows you to look at the asset performance, do improvements through the software and the control solutions that we offer, and deliver consistent and higher asset performance for our customers, which effectively helps the end consumer. I think that is one important piece. The second important piece is also the digital solutions. When it comes to improving the performance of these assets, there are digital solutions which can also provide predictive heads up or predictive early warning or predictive alarm. And the reason that is important is it improves the uptime. If even before an asset goes down, if we provide a predictive heads up and we can plan fixing that problem before the problem arises, then the asset uptime will improve. The consumer will not face a loss of power. They will not face downtime. I think that is the second solution. The third thing that we also do is in the grid substations. So the grid substation monitoring, the HVDC solutions that we have, these are some of the things which will also help as the grid capacity expands and the power consumption we have seen even in the last 6 months within 2021. Every month the power consumption has started going up, which is a great thing. The industry needs more, the consumers need more, but that needs to be now having a very strong monitoring of the grid substations and the grid transmission that we have. So these are the different areas in which the data can be remotely monitored, predictive solutions could be provided, and asset performance could be further improved.
Right. I think we have focused on the renewable energy part and government policy on powerful all, and the role of technology, especially in managing the grid infrastructure. And that brings to a very important question, which is around, which is globally making buzzword around climate change. And when we look at our energy mix today, it is primarily hinged towards coal and hydro-based power generation. These are the two main major contributors right now. And then expectation is that as we progress in the renewable energy area, possibly some of the workload in terms of the power generation will come from the renewable energies. In view of growing challenge of climate changes that we have observed across all parts of the world, be it Europe, US, even in India, uh, and the government focus on SDG programs and SDG goals. In your views, do we need to balance our approach to energy generation and consumption? What should be our ideal mix, given the fact that we have to look at the long-term strategy, that impact of our generation should be minimal on our environment?
Sure. This is very relevant, and this is also relevant for India. It's not only a global issue. Climate change is a significant priority even for our nation. And I think our government has progressed well. We have seen how fast the renewable energy has started ramping up. However, we will have to be very, very mindful, and we'll have to be very, very pragmatic. As you mentioned, we still have a large percentage of power generation that happens in the coal-fired power plants. We must achieve decarbonization, and even with the dependence on coal-fired power plants, we can deploy some technology solutions. GE has a fabulous air quality control system solution whereby the flue gases that come from the coal-fired power plants can be minimized and those emissions can be brought under significant control. So I think the approach has to be multi-pronged. India has a large percentage of coal-fired power generation, and we should employ the emission control technologies. And GE has some great technologies we are currently serving our customers with. That is the approach to coal generation. But also natural gas into the mix. And how do we have tremendous assets of natural gas. How do we bring the natural gas supply and use those assets which are already deployed in the country is another balancing solution. The third solution would be, as we get the wind and solar generation up, we talked about some of the hybrid solutions, we talked about some of the storage solutions, and last but not the least, India has hydro installations as well. And hydro is one fuel that can help in terms of storage solutions also. We have a pumped storage solution, GE technology, that can act as a storage solution. So in addition to the traditional battery storage, hydro pumped storage can also be a very efficient solution. So the fact of the matter is all these fuels will be there, they will coexist, and we have to address specific solutions for each fuel and balance them as we balance reduction in the fossil fuels and as we bring up the renewable energy. But we will have to be pragmatic that for the next 10, 20 years, this is the mix that will transition, and we have to address this transition with the current portfolio of assets that we have.
Mr. Mahesh, thank you for sharing your views on the round-the-clock Power for India challenges and opportunities, and how some of the challenges around utilization, cost, effective use of technology could be addressed. Once again, thank you so much for your time, sir. Thank you.
Our pleasure. Thank you for having us.